Houston Texans fans, I have been sitting here thinking about our squad, and honestly, the wait for the new season feels like an eternity. Something is developing regarding the future of our franchise quarterback that could really shake up everything we thought we knew about this offseason. It is fascinating because the stakes involve massive long-term implications, and the silence from both sides is starting to say a lot. The more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is happening behind the scenes. Please hit that like button and drop your name and city below. Let's get into it. The Houston Texans have officially hit a stalemate regarding a potential contract extension for franchise quarterback Stroud as we approach the start of training camp. Since being selected with the second overall pick in the 2023 draft, Stroud has transformed this organization from a rebuilding project into a legitimate championship contender. We watched him deliver an electrifying rookie season that set the league on fire, and he remains the undisputed heart and soul of this team. And honestly, it is tough to envision this roster without him anchoring the offense. ESPN insider Jeremy Fowler recently reported that talks are effectively on pause, with no momentum toward a deal before the season begins. Here is where it gets interesting because the front office has been incredibly aggressive in locking up key pieces like Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, yet Stroud remains the outlier. The report suggests that if a deal is not reached this summer, Stroud might play out his fourth year to maximize his future leverage. That matters because the projected price tag could exceed $60 million annually, creating a massive financial commitment for the franchise. Let's be real, the fan base is feeling quite conflicted about this development. While we all want him secured long-term, the memory of his 4-interception nightmare against Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots in last year's divisional round still stings. This creates a legitimate prove-it scenario for a player we once thought would get an immediate reset. Now here's the thing, Stroud faces immense pressure to wash away those playoff demons and prove he is worth every penny of a record-breaking deal. As Houston Texans fans, we know this season is about Super Bowl aspirations, and watching our star leader navigate this contract uncertainty while preparing for such a pivotal campaign will certainly be the most talked about storyline in town. As Houston Texans fans, we find ourselves at a critical crossroads regarding our franchise quarterback. The current stalemate stems from the natural expiration of a rookie window that coincides with a volatile quarterback market where annual values are trending towards $60 million. We have seen this organization aggressively lock up defensive anchors like Will Anderson and veteran assets like Dalton Schultz, yet Stroud remains on his current deal. That matters because the front office is clearly prioritizing structural financial stability before committing massive league-altering guarantees to a single player. Here is where it gets interesting because we cannot ignore the lingering shadow of that postseason collapse against Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots, where Stroud threw 4 first-half interceptions. That performance likely gave management a reason to pause and demand a prove-it season rather than handing out a blank check. Historically, we can look back at the Trevor Lawrence situation as a blueprint for this exact dilemma, balancing raw potential against the high-stakes pressure of sustaining elite production when the money becomes truly astronomical. Let's be real, the front office is likely holding their cards close to the chest behind closed doors, wanting to see if Stroud can consistently elevate this team to a Super Bowl caliber offense before locking him in for the next half-decade. Now, here's the thing. While the lack of momentum feels concerning, it is actually a calculated business strategy to ensure the investment matches the output on the field. We are talking about the most important position in sports, and the team needs to feel absolute certainty that the highs of his rookie year represent his floor rather than his ceiling. As we gear up for training camp, the contract silence regarding Stroud dominates our conversations. That matters because the financial flexibility of this team hinges entirely on how we structure the next mega deal for our franchise signal caller. By holding off on an extension, the front office preserves significant immediate salary cap space, allowing us to retain key veteran pieces who provide the depth necessary for a deep postseason run. If we locked him in now, we would likely see the market reach that $60 million annual plateau, forcing painful cuts elsewhere on the roster. Now here is the thing. Letting this play out serves as a massive test for Stroud to prove he can overcome the ghosts of that playoff collapse against Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots. Let's be real, his performance this season dictates our entire trajectory. We have crucial matchups looming against Kellen Moore and his new-look Saints, not to mention a gritty battle against Robert Saleh and Mike Borgonzi, who are trying to rebuild that Titans identity from the ground up. If Stroud fails to elevate his game, our standing within the AFC South becomes precarious as those rivals are hungry to close the gap. And honestly, this is a gamble for us. While we want him locked in forever, seeing him play out this year allows management to ensure he is the undisputed elite leader we saw in his rookie campaign before committing such historic guaranteed money. We are looking at a pivotal prove-it year that will either solidify our status as perennial Super Bowl favorites or force us into a complex negotiation next offseason. Houston Texans. Every snap this year carries the weight of a franchise shifting its future, so watch how he handles this pressure, because it defines whether we climb to the mountaintop or start looking for answers. On one side, securing CJ Stroud to a long-term extension right now would lock in our franchise cornerstone before the quarterback market inevitably inflates even further. By finalizing a deal this summer, the front office could stabilize our salary cap trajectory, proving to the locker room that we are fully committed to our leader while avoiding any unnecessary contract distractions as we pursue a Super Bowl run. But on the other side, waiting makes significant financial sense because committing to a deal worth $60 million annually is a monumental risk after his recent struggles. While he is undoubtedly our guy, that dismal 4-interception performance against Mike Vrabel and the Patriots this past postseason left a bitter taste for everyone watching. Let's be real, his production leveled off significantly following his stellar rookie debut, and the organization needs to be absolutely certain before handing out the most expensive contract in team history. Here is where it gets interesting, as league insiders like Jeremy Fowler suggest that discussions are essentially on pause, with many around the NFL comparing this stalemate to the Trevor Lawrence situation a few years ago. That matters because the front office is likely prioritizing a prove-it year, wanting to see consistency before committing massive guaranteed money. Personally, I think this cautious approach is the smart move for the long-term health of this team. We have seen other franchises rush to pay young signal callers, only to regret the decision when those players fail to sustain elite performance. If Stroud puts in the work during this upcoming training camp and bounces back with a dominant campaign, the price tag will be justified and we will happily pay it next offseason. Now here's the thing, we are still the team to beat in this division, and keeping our focus on the field is the priority. Houston Texans. As Houston Texans fans, we need to look at the bigger picture regarding CJ Stroud. This pause in contract talks defines our franchise direction for the next few seasons, signaling a calculated, patient approach from the front office rather than a desperate rush to lock in a massive cap hit. That matters because the organization is prioritizing long-term flexibility to keep this window of contention wide open, while other teams across the league, like the Patriots under Mike Vrabel or the Saints with Kellen Moore, are constantly overhauling their identities. Here is where it gets interesting. You should feel calm, not panicked. Stroud is clearly our cornerstone, but after that rough playoff exit, letting him prove his consistency in 2026 is a smart business move that protects us if he hits a slump. Let's be real, paying a quarterback north of $60 million demands total certainty, and right now the team is rightfully asking him to elevate his floor after last year's late-season turbulence. And honestly, this is how winning cultures operate. We have already locked up studs like Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, so we know management can pull the trigger when the timing is perfect. Now, here's the thing. This upcoming season is the most critical year of his young career. We are chasing Super Bowl dreams, and we need our franchise leader to be at his absolute peak to make that vision a reality. So, I want to hear from you. Do you think it is smarter for the Texans to pay Stroud now or wait until he proves he can win in the postseason? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Houston Texans, I'll see you in the next one.